In the age of the samurai, when warlords clashed for dominance over Japan, one name stood above the rest: Takeda Shingen. A warrior, a strategist, a man whose mind was as sharp as his blade. Revered by allies and feared by enemies, he built a legacy that would outlast the empire he sought to control. This is the story of the Tiger of Kai, the warrior monk who defied an empire. Born in 1521, Takeda Shingen, then known as Takeda Harunobu, was destined to inherit the Takeda clan, a family that ruled the mountainous province of Kai. From a young age, he was trained in the ways of the samurai, the art of the sword, the strategy of war, and the discipline of Bushido. But unlike other warlords of his time, he was also deeply influenced by Zen Buddhism. This would shape not only his philosophy, but also his approach to war. At 15, he rebelled against his own father, Takeda Nobutora, who was unpopular among the clan's retainers. With the support of his vassals, Shingen seized power, exiling his father and taking control of the Takeda clan. It was a bold move that demonstrated his cunning, his ruthlessness, and his understanding of the delicate balance of power. As daimyo, Takeda Shingen wasted no time in expanding his territory. He turned the rugged terrain of Kai into an unbreakable stronghold and began a campaign of conquest that would bring him into direct conflict with some of the greatest warlords of the Sengoku period. One of his greatest strengths was his cavalry. Known as the Takeda warhorse, his elite mounted warriors were the terror of the battlefield. In an era dominated by foot soldiers and pikes, Shingen revolutionized warfare with swift, disciplined cavalry attacks. His strategy was embodied in the phrase Furin-kazan: swift as the wind, silent as the forest, fierce as fire, immovable as the mountain. But no great warrior is without a rival, and for Takeda Shingen, that rival was Wisugi Kenshin. The two clashed in a series of epic battles known as the Battles of Kawanakajima. These conflicts were more than just military engagements, they were legendary duels between two opposing philosophies. Shingen, the pragmatic warlord, versus Kenshin, the devout warrior monk. According to legend, in one of these battles, Kenshin managed to break through Shingen's defenses and charged straight for him. Shingen, caught off guard, had no time to draw his sword. Instead, he used his iron war fan to deflect Kenshin's attacks, a moment that became one of the most famous duels in samurai history. Beyond the battlefield, Takeda Shingen was also a masterful politician and administrator. He implemented land reforms that boosted the economy of Kai, ensuring that his people were well fed and his armies well supplied. Unlike many other warlords, he ruled with a mix of strict discipline and genuine care for his subjects. His governance extended to his military, where he instilled absolute discipline and rewarded talent over birthright. His generals, such as the famous 24 generals of Takeda, were some of the most skilled warriors of the era. But all great warriors eventually meet their greatest challenge. For Takeda Shingen, that challenge came in the form of Oda Nobunaga, the ambitious warlord who sought to unify Japan under his rule. While Shingen had dominated central Japan, Nobunaga's use of gunpowder and disciplined infantry threatened to change the nature of warfare itself. Despite Nobunaga's technological advantage, Shingen was able to outmaneuver him on multiple occasions. His greatest triumph came at the Battle of Mikatagahara in 1572, where he crushed Tokugawa Ieyasu, Nobunaga's ally, in a devastating display of strategic brilliance. It was a victory that shook Nobunaga to his core. But fate had other plans. In 1573, at the height of his power, Takeda Shingen died, reportedly from illness, though some theories suggest he was assassinated. His sudden death left the Takeda clan vulnerable, and within a decade they would fall to Oda Nobunaga and Tokugawa Ieyasu. Yet despite his clan's downfall, Takeda Shingen's legacy endures. His tactics influenced generations of military leaders, including Tokugawa Ieyasu, who would go on to unify Japan. His life became the stuff of legend, immortalized in books, films, and even modern video games. Takeda Shingen was more than just a warlord. He was a philosopher of war, a visionary leader, and a man whose ambition knew no bounds. In an age of chaos, he carved out his own empire, defied the greatest warriors of his time, and left behind a name that still echoes through history. The tiger of Kai may have fallen, but his roar will never be silenced. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the life of Takeda Shingen, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know which legendary figure you'd like us to cover next. Until next time, keep seeking the stories that shape our world.